Rev up your engines!
Well, as I say, if something doesn't work economically, it's kind of stupid to push it. Well, investors are now dumping renewable energy stocks at a record pace. They're finding out, they're not economically viable. A great idea in theory, but it's not something you should invest in because you're going to lose your money. The third quarter here in the United States, there was $1.4 billion of outflow, people taking their money out of these renewable stocks. The S&P Global Energy Fund, which is 100 of these different green stocks, had a year-to-date return of minus 31.8%. So you would have lost 31% of your money if you'd invested in that fund. And another big one that's called iShares Global Clean Energy had a minus 29.78% yield. You're losing almost a third of your money in less than a year. Not something you want to invest in. A lot of people think, oh, that's a good idea. Let's go into it, right? I'll give you an example from decades ago. Everybody was into the tiny things, right? Nano this, nano that. Oh, everything's nanotechnology. It's the future. There were so many stocks that went down the toilet that were nanotechnology stocks, it would make your head spin. I actually was dumb enough to invest in one, and it ended up being a penny a share. From like $30 to a penny a share over time. It sounds like a great idea. It's not the idea itself. It's the implementation of the idea. And the thing is, green energy is so expensive. If the government doesn't bankroll the whole thing, it's not going to make a profit. Well, if you invest in the stock of a green company, you're bankrolling that company. And guess what? When you run out of money and the other investors, they all start going down the toilet. We all know the government loses money. They take our tax money and they spend it. And they spend more money than we even give them. They do deficit spending all the time. Well, you can't do deficit spending in the stock market because it'll make you go right down the toilet. And that's what's happening with these green energy stocks. Carrick says, my check engine light came on. A scan said the catalytic converter is inefficient. But my mechanic said the engine doesn't run bad and gas mileage isn't suffering. Not to worry about it. What do you think? I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Well, it's a good thing you're in Fort Lauderdale because you're in the state of Florida. They do not do emissions testing. Car runs okay, you can drive it forever. I had a customer in Texas. He drove a Toyota Highlander 5 years with that same check engine light inefficient catalytic converter. It ran fine, and the weirdest thing was the 6th year, the light went out on its own. He changed the way he bought his gasoline, and the new gasoline was better. I guess it cleaned the cat out, so the light didn't come on anymore. If it runs okay, it doesn't overheat, the temperature's the same, and you can go 60, 70 miles an hour fine, yeah, you can live with it, you know? Now, if you lived in a state like New York State where they do emissions testing, you couldn't get it registered. They would fail you and say you're going to have to buy a new catalytic converter to fix the car. But you're in Florida, you don't have to worry about it. Just watch your temperature gauge, and if it accelerates normally and runs fine, you don't have anything to worry about. T.E. Carver says, should I be concerned the new 2024 Lexus TX350 only has a 4-cylinder turbo? Seems small for a large SUV. I agree entirely, it is too small, but they're all going for that crap, right? I'll tell you one thing, I've been in Lexuses with 8s, 6s, and 4s. And the Lexus with 4s, I didn't like any of them. They were underpowered. As they aged, they burnt oil because that little engine had to be zooming up with the turbo. I personally wouldn't buy a turbo because turbocharged cars wear out faster. More pressure in the engine, the faster the engine's gonna wear out. Why do you think they give people high blood pressure medication? To get their blood pressure down, because if your heart's got really high blood pressure, you're going to blow faster too, and you're not gonna last as long. Same thing with a car. You're pumping extra pressure in, the engine's gonna wear out faster. Plus, it's really not the same kind of power as a 6 or an 8. It's got to do it at higher RPMs, which also wears the car out faster. So no, I wouldn't buy one. I don't like the idea. Sierra Lemon says, why does my car make a squealing sound only when I reverse? I got a 2021 Ford Escape. It only makes a noise when I go in reverse, especially when it sits overnight. The car only makes a noise when you're backing up. It usually means your brakes, the rotors have gotten rusty, and or they're made so when they get thin, the little squealer hits the rotors and makes a squeaking noise, right? Now, the way many of them wear is, first they'll squeak when they're starting to get thin, only going backwards, the way they rub. They'll make more noise going backwards because then it's going against the grain and it'll make more noise. When you're going forward and they just wore it, can just push it back a little, not make much noise. Now, the only other thing is, let's say you pull off your wheels and your brake pads are all thick. It just means that you got cheaper brake pads and rotors, they rust in the morning. You sit overnight, it's bare steel. The steel absorbs moisture and rust. especially after a rain. Get a flashlight after a rain. You park your car outside, look at the rotors. You'll see they're coated with rust. And it doesn't mean anything if that's the case, but you want to check them. If the brake pads are thin, change them. If they aren't, it's something you're just going to live with. But if you don't like it, remove the brake pads and put on Akebono, A-K-E-B-O-N-O, brake ceramic pads. And those don't make noise. You'll find the noise will go away then. But, I mean, if they're thick and they're okay, and it does it mainly when you're cold, first thing in the morning, backing up, as long as the pads are still thick, leave it alone. Now in Vermont, they want to give everybody in the state one of those battery storage, like Tesla battery storage units for their houses, by the year 2030. Now, there's only 270,000 customers of green energy in Vermont, so it's not like it's a huge amount of people. And, of course, they're paying tax out the wazoo beginning, but on top of the tax that they're paying, the government subsidizing it, they will lease these battery storage units for like $55 a month to all the people. That's what they say now, you know. By 2030, it's not going to be $55 a month. Probably be $150 a month, right? They promise, and reality comes, gee, it's more expensive than we thought. And realize, these are battery-powered systems, right, to store electricity. Batteries wear out over time. Batteries also start on fire and burn your house down. I personally wouldn't want one in my house. I don't trust those things. And if you're leasing, they can change the lease payments anytime they want on most of that stuff, right? Here's the power company trying to get people to buy things basically to help themselves out. Because they're energy storing, they would store energy, and then when you need energy, theoretically, they'd put it back into the system. Yeah, what a bunch of crap. When everybody's using energy, nobody's got any extra to give to somebody else. If the power goes out, you're going to have to rely on your own one. And what if that was used to power something up earlier, and now there's no power left? Yeah, so whether it's a good idea or not, Vermont says they're going to try it, right? My son went to the University of Vermont, and I saw they had bought one of those electric backhoes, right? Cost 3 times as much as the regular one, could only go for 4 hours. They like the idea of green, but, you know, that was the University of Vermont that did that with the electric backhoe. And, you know, it's all government grants and stuff to pay for it, so they don't care. But when it comes to people paying, even if they started to institute this, I guarantee you, it's going to be a lot more than $55 a month by the time they get it implemented, if they can even get enough to implement it, if they have enough lithium and stuff to build the lithium-ion batteries, and find enough electricians to install it. A nice idea, but implementing it may be a lot harder than their idea of, well, a battery-powered houses. Well, here we go. I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, but now the Europeans are going after him. They give him 24 hours to respond about misinformation and violence that's being spread through his X, formerly known as Twitter. For once, I kind of agree with old Elon, right? I mean, hey, it's supposed to be freedom of the speech, that people could say stuff, right? And then if somebody doesn't like it, well, hey, let them put their opinion up on the same platform if they want. Hey, we're supposed to have freedom of speech, right? Well, the Europeans don't like that idea. And a European commissioner by the name of Thierry Breton, sounds French, very suspicious right there, says that he doesn't want groups spreading misinformation on X, and this is probably what's really behind it all, I quote, failure to comply with these regulations about illegal content will result in fines worth 6% of a company's annual revenue. Good luck trying to collect money from old Elon. He didn't even pay the bills when he bought Twitter. The rent for places, they just left and said, we're not paying that rent, right? Now, old Elon lives in Austin, Texas. Now, some French guy in Europe, how's he going to get that money from Austin, Texas to Europe and Vive la France, right? Like I say, forget all the ideas, whatever horse manure they're throwing out, and follow the money. They want 6% of his money, of his profit, right? I imagine even if they did, he could finagle it because it says 6% of the profit, right? Well, this isn't his electric cars that make money. This is his ex-Twitter, now called X, right? Move the paper around, say, oh, Twitter loses money. I'll give you 6% of the profit. The profit is negative, so you owe me money. I'm not making money, I'm losing money, right? All that stuff is so much horse manure. Who made what profit? Where does it go? They can, you know. And everybody knows Twitter's kind of like, it's just bizarre. Who even uses it anymore? You know, whenever somebody big and famous takes over something, it's usually passe. It's like when you saw advertising was using rap music and stuff. You know, well, that's the end of rap music. It's garbage now. They're using it for advertising. Like when I was young, rock and roll was leading edge music, right? And then it just started fading away. Now all the ads use rock music. They just turn into a bunch of old rocks. Will do anything for money. They probably even advertise toilet paper for all I know, right? But in this case now, this Frenchman, he wants to stop Elon's platform, but he wants 6% of his profits. So, like I say, good luck getting a penny out of Elon in France, baby. He's in Austin, Texas, right? Good luck coming to Austin, Texas and trying to bother somebody. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.